there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. Come fill your time, this pod's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Keuka Trail, upstate New York, every episode I tell. Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. It's rare.
So great.
Nobody watched that live,
No.
but when they watch this later, that's going to be the first thing they see, and it's awesome. Big thanks, huge thanks to Kyle Fitzpatrick
Amazing.
for composing and recording that theme for us.
He's an amazing, gifted fellow.
He is. He's got a lot of talents, many talents.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is copyrighted, but I feel like I should say live from New York. It's rare, right? We didn't really talk about. First off, just so everybody knows, it's just me and Marianne tonight, and we had to give you an update on
the original
developments. Yeah, this is like, it feels old school, doesn't it?
It feels so old school, and on top of that, we've progressed. I mean,
It
now
feels so natural.
I don't know about that, but now look at this, like microphone craziness, and we're actually in separate areas of New York.
We are, and so I'm really glad that we were able to get this set up. And that we've got the mics that sound awesome, and we've got the technology so that we can see each other, because I miss you.
I miss you.
And I've got to give you some updates, and I've got to give the people some updates about what's going on.
Let's do it.
So we're going to do it. First, I have to take just a moment and share this on my news feed so that we can get some people to come check us out live, hopefully, that follow us from different directions. So I've done that. So since the last time we talked, part of the reason why we haven't done a podcast in a while is because I'm in New York City, and I felt the need to come and assist with the COVID response that's going on. I saw an opportunity where I thought I could help and kind of fill a role. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm able to, still help out things at home electronically. And otherwise, here I am right now sitting in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, and going back and forth to some other places, trying to see what we can do here.
I think it's great how many people are trying to escape New York City, and you're like, I'm going to go into New York City.
I got to tell you too, everybody who knows me knows that I am not a city boy. This is not my thing. I do not care for it, but like I said, I think I can be helpful here. And I think that, done that a little bit so far, and I'm surrounded by a lot of really cool people here who have also come from all over the country to do the same. They rushed right into this pandemic and said, where can I help? And to be honest, the things that some of us are doing are not kind of earth-shattering things. That we're not the thing that you see on the news that these nurses and doctors and other support staff are like these heroes that are going into these ICUs that are loaded with people. That's not what my role is here.
Okay.
I can't get way in depth into what my role is, but I can give a little peek. But nonetheless, everybody who's here is kind of a part of the greater picture. And I think that makes a big difference.
Okay.
But the other thing is, I can't wait for everything to be open back at home, because that is what I want to get back to. You got to take care of your neighbor, but then you got to get home.
I talked to you briefly yesterday, and I don't know what you can and cannot say, but when I asked you when you're coming back, and you told me your answer, I was like, what? I thought we signed up for like a couple months, and you're making it sound like it's a lot more than that. And we didn't sign up for that.
Ooh, you're echoey.
I am.
I don't know what just happened there. Hopefully just a quick internet connectivity issue from one of us. But yeah,
Possibly.
Everything is always a question. It's a question mark because we've never been through this before, and we don't know where it's going to be, both epidemiologically and as far as what responses are still going to be necessary here. And this being the epicenter,
right?
And with the population density that there is in New York City, I think that it would be foolish not to think this will continue to be the epicenter for probably the majority of the time that we're suffering from this. And that's just my, I guess my disclaimer for all of this is that I'm not going to tell you, because I'm not authorized right now. And it's not that they're preventing me from speaking. I just have to talk to people before I can give out too much information.
Okay.
But essentially, all of the things that I'm telling you are my personal opinion,
okay,
and have nothing to do with any other organization. But that said, this is the role that I'm in. I think is something that's going to be useful for quite some time, and we've gotten some indication that it could go on for more than the original period that we thought it would, as far as my part of the response. So
okay.
I don't know how long. I can't give any specifics really on that because I don't know how much of it's public, and obviously everything is just estimations right now anyway. So it wouldn't even make sense.
I know that the Finger Lakes in Rochester has been the idea is to plan to open the first phase the 15th, which is this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to actually a fellow business owner, and she's ready. She's part of phase 2. Wine bar restaurants to be part of phase 3, but it's we don't know what any of that's going to look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be realistic about it. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, because that's all you can really be. But I mean, let's be real, guys. Memorial Day is in a few weeks. And I just realized a couple of weeks ago, like, we obviously won't have a parade. Something we've had so many years. Everything that we look forward to every month, every May, every June is just so far-fetched. But what's it like in New York City? Like, when you wake up in the morning, you deal with coffee with cream in it.
I know. It's my thing. I've been telling everybody here. I said, look, I am what is affectionately known as a country bumpkin. And this is all new to me. I'm parking on the street right now, like 4 blocks from here.
Yeah.
Instead of paying $50 a night to be in a parking garage. I hope that the car is there when I get up to go back to work at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. But I don't know if I'm going to get towed. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know. Like, I left the car there, but I don't know. Like, I hope I'm doing it right. I hope it's at least good enough for whoever.
So it's like an adventure every time you wake up in the morning. Like, do I have a car?
Yeah, it's an adventure. Good so what I do, though, that what I've learned here, and I do not abuse this other than for this one simple thing, is for parking.
Yeah.
Is every night when I park the car, I leave my ID for the organization I'm working for.
Okay.
So they can tell that it's a health worker.
Okay.
And I leave that on my dash so that maybe they'll say, oh, I don't know. Hey, Rooster, good to see you. Anyway, so that's the one abuse that I do use of my healthcare worker ID, is to make sure that my car is still there in the morning, because if they tow me, then they're going to have one less person on the front lines helping with this pandemic. So
well, they're covering for your hotel, and maybe you can't talk about it, but you would think they'd cover for your parking. Or is
it's all, you know what? That was quite an adventure. I think I'll probably tell more of that story someday down the road, but
okay. Surprise.
I've been in Times Square. I stayed in Times Square for a week.
Did you?
Now I'm in downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit disorganized, and I kind of thought I was going to have a place to stay when I got here.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And it was quite the adventure finding a place to stay. So
I wish it was recorded like Country Bumpkin. You arrive and you're like, I'm here, and they're like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. So here I am. I think I've got a place to stay.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, that's going to take 4 to 24 hours to process that. And like, do you want me to sleep in my car tonight? Like, how's this going to work in Manhattan? Or should I drive to Queens? I don't know. Like, there are a lot of different options. So,
oh man.
But now I'm in a decent hotel. It's still a drive, and it's still questionable parking. So I don't know. And then finding food is kind of tough.
Yeah, that's what I really want to discuss with you. Your diet. How's that going? Yeah.
Well, I know that you're interested in my diet. For anybody who has not been following, I am on the carnivore diet. So fortunately, the other day I was able to get to Wegmans, and I have I don't know. I got some eggs and I got a chuck roast, and I cooked it in my hotel room. Don't tell them, because I don't know if that's allowed. But so I was able to do a little bit of meat, and it worked. They feed me, but it's like, I got to kind of try to find the meat in it and pick it out. So it's just been a struggle.
I bet.
But in food here, there's this great, I don't know about great, but there's a highly reviewed barbecue place here called Dallas Barbecue.
Okay.
And I said, oh, look, that is right up my alley. They had a meal where I could get, I got a ribeye steak.
Okay.
And you get a quarter of a chicken, and you can get ribs. So I got a beef rib, and the steak was like real thin.
Oh.
There wasn't much of it. It's like
where's the beef?
Once the tip was included for the delivery, it's like, oh no, I even picked it up. I picked it up, and the tip and everything. It was like almost $40, and you get like a 1/4 inch thick steak, and you get one beef rib, and like a little piece of chicken. But that's apparently a good deal in New York City.
I don't know.
I don't know. I talked to a lot of other carnivores about what's going on in New York City, and they said that was a good portion size. And they also said that it's not that expensive for New York City. So
here's the thing. I hear there's going to be a shortage, though, right?
Well, I'll tell you what there's not going to be a shortage of is my lunch today. I found this Mexican place, and I ordered beef tongue. And I ate a tongue today, and it was fantastic.
Dude, you take me to new places.
Yeah. Oh, and it was only $20 delivered for lunch. So I will probably be returning to that establishment.
Can you honestly take pictures of it and post it?
You want pictures of a beef tongue?
I want to know what you're eating. Yeah. I'm so concerned what you're eating.
I know. It's okay. I'm surviving so far. It's been I've been here for at least a full 2 weeks now.
It's only been 2 weeks. It seems so much longer than that.
I know. It feels like it's been longer than that. But, part of what I wanted to talk about is some of the stuff with the opening, and some of the stuff that I've been seeing down here in New York City that's been kind of bothering me lately.
Go for it.
And I've seen a lot of people talking about complaining back home about face mask usage.
Oh, I saw that go for it.
And about the mandated Facebook usage. And I just wanted to kind of throw in my 2 cents as somebody who is on the front lines of this pandemic and who's down in New York City, is that for me, I don't want Governor Cuomo requiring us to wear face masks.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
But, and this is the problem that I have a hard time explaining to a lot of people, is just because I don't want people to be arrested for doing something.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean I don't want them to do it. So I don't want us to be forced to wear face masks, but I do want people to wear them. And I want businesses to have the leeway to say that we want everybody here that attends our establishment or who works here to wear a mask,
Mhm.
and to be able to enforce that using trespass laws or whatever they need to.
Mhm.
And I want businesses to have hand sanitizer available. And I want them to be transparent about what they have and say, look, here's the things that we're doing to protect you. And now you can decide whether or not you want to come here.
Mhm.
And I think that's fair, because there's no law saying that you have to wear face masks, and that'll never go through our state legislature, hopefully. But I don't want that to be. I want people to do it, but I want people to do it because they know it's the right thing. And the thing that set me off about this, the thing that's really been bothering me, is I am in New York City.
Mhm.
And I went down to Times Square the other day because I'd been through my first week of this and I just wanted a beer, and every place was closed. So I'm walking all over Times Square looking for one.
Mhm.
But there was none. Nobody's open. So I see, the city's starting to come to life. It's not like what New York City usually is, but they're people, and they're starting to go outside again.
Mhm.
And maybe some of them were already outside, but when there's nice weather, people get outside.
Yeah.
And I saw this group of motorcyclists, and they were starting to get hassled by the police, by the NYPD, and that they wanted to move their bikes or something. Well, I look over and, Governor Cuomo has made this mandate that we have to have a mask. And who do you think, which group do you think didn't have masks?
The law enforcement.
Hey, you got it. Ding, ding, ding. Right. So we're getting this, mandate from above that we all have to have a mask. And meanwhile, the people who are actual public servants, who are employees of the city of New York, aren't wearing them, don't have them on them.
Mhm.
And so that starts to bother me, because I saw at least a dozen NYPD officers that night in Times Square interacting with the public without a mask to be seen.
Did you go up and ask, like, hey, just not to
No, I don't
be a pest?
No.
Well, but I mean, why not?
I don't want to get mixed up with those people.
But then who's
Especially,
the best person to ask?
Well, here's the thing, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that when you wear a mask, it's not to protect you, it's to protect the other people, right?
Right.
So I'm not going to go get up close to the police who aren't wearing them, because they aren't doing their job to protect me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. They're supposed to be there. They used to be serve and protect, and now it's professionalism and something or other. Like, serve and protect isn't even on their list of things anymore. Not only that, but the Supreme Court found that they're not even required to serve or protect us. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's not even what they aren't required to do that. They've got no liability to protect us. So they're just as well within their rights to run away. So what I'm telling you is that when they're here to enforce this and then they're not following it, that's very hypocritical, and it bothers me.
Okay.
Now, the
Fair
next
enough.
day, when
Mhm.
I went into the facility I'm helping at, I was talking to some of the other people there, and some of them have a little bit more of a line into what's going on in the African American world than I do. I learned that Black Twitter exists. I don't still know exactly what that is, but apparently it's a thing where they have news about what's going on in the African American and Black community throughout the world.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Twitter too. That's
never
crazy.
heard of it. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the thing, is they were like, "Oh, you've never heard of that? Well, how would you know any of this other stuff?" And I said, "Well, I don't have Twitter, so whatever." So
Right.
anyway,
Good point.
that's beside the point. Point is, they said, okay, so here's what happened last night. Here's this video of 3 black kids who got beat up by the NYPD for not wearing masks.
No.
It's not the law, first off. Second, why are you having physical confrontations with people over it? And, you know, you make it out racial or you don't. I don't really care. I think that everybody should be treated, you know, with dignity. And that's not what that is, especially when one of the officers who was involved with it, and I didn't see the video, so I can't completely describe it, but wasn't wearing a mask. So I know we've talked about masks like this whole time, but it just bothers me because I think here's my message to Governor Cuomo. Tomorrow, because I know he listens to this. So I know you're listening right now, Governor Cuomo. What I want you to do is tomorrow, I want you to send out a new executive order. And what I want the order to say is all public employees are required to wear a mask as long as anybody is required to wear a mask. That's it. Nobody can be required to wear a mask until all public employees are required to wear a mask.
That's so
and that
crazy.
should go for every single law that we have. We shouldn't have laws that create multiple classes of people. Every single law should apply to Congress, to the state legislature, to our public servants before any of them apply to us.
Yeah. I mean, that
I
makes
won't.
sense.
I won't drop my mic because I just spent a lot of money on it.
Don't do that. Don't. I'm afraid mine's going to drop. That raises a very interesting point. So I know that you put that post on Facebook about the mask. I was starting to read the feedback on it, but then I got distracted. What has been the feedback on the whole mask thing? Or are people not really paying attention to it too much? You know what I mean?
I think there's a variety. I know that I haven't had a ton of time to engage on it.
Right.
I've had time to think about it. And I know some people are not wearing them for health reasons, and that's perfectly fine for them, especially if they're finding other ways to protect themselves and others, if it means distancing or just increased usage of hand sanitizer. I had somebody the other day that was standing like right here and had their mask down around their chin and was talking to me. And I was like, you need to either take 3 steps back, just, you know, Leonard Skinner has a song about it. Give me 3 steps. So you need to either give me 3 steps toward the door, or you need to put your mask on, and then we can have a conversation, because you're using a lot of words that have the letter P and S in them, and I don't want to get COVID from you. So just like help me out, you know?
Are you tested all the time?
I haven't been tested, no. Well, so I haven't been tested for the virus or for the antibodies.
Okay.
But every morning when I arrive, they do take my temperature. Mm-hmm. And if I have any symptoms, I have to report them. But other than that, no. I do use copious amounts of hand sanitizer, and I wash my hands all the time. I'm very strict with all the protocols to keep myself safe. And I consider my job here to protect people from the virus. Mm-hmm. So whether it's helping people with their isolation and quarantine, or if it's trying to help keep surfaces clean and sanitized, or whatnot, or just helping guide people and saying, hey, remember, you need to wash your hands before you touch that, or after you touch that, or, mm-hmm. you know, kind of things like that. So it's all about just keeping people safe here.
So with the numbers, it sounds like the numbers have been decreasing over there in New York City.
Yeah, the numbers are going down, and I don't know. I think that the facility that I'm involved with is, we're actually on the uptick as far as people using the facility. I've heard stories from a lot of facilities, so I can't really, like I said, get a lot into the facility that I'm at. But what I can say is stories that I've heard from other from healthcare providers here on the front, and a lot of it is that at the beginning, even recently, that some of the hospital rooms, in the emergency room, the ICU, they were having 5 people stacked up in a room, and that the nurses were only able to talk to them through the glass. So they feel useless. Like, right. a lot of the things that we've got going on is because there is, despite what the politicians say, there does still seem to be, to me, there seems to be still a shortage of PPE. And I know we continue to talk about this shortage of PPE, and the way that they've eliminated the shortage is by redefining what a shortage is.
Okay.
So what I mean is that if we were not only, like Governor Cuomo says, that, he thinks that we don't have a shortage if we have enough to get through the next 3 days instead of 90 days.
Right.
Well, in addition to that, and this is just from stories, so I can't completely, like I said, testify to this, but essentially, if you've redefined how PPE is used, so if you have a gown that somebody needs to use to protect their clothing and their skin, right. And if you have like a face shield, that instead of changing that between each patient, like we would do typically, you might use that same one throughout the day, or you might use that same one for multiple patients. And so maybe if we had this many patients and we had all the PPE in the world, maybe we would use 30 gowns in a day, but you're not using that. And so they've redefined what that number is to make it so that you're not having a technical shortage, because you've redefined what it means. I know that's complicated. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. From my perspective, especially out here, it's that we don't see it. I mean, we see everyone social distancing, or when I have people going back into their summer cottages, and they're like, "How is it up there?" And I'm like, "It's actually pretty good. I'm not seeing anything negative, and we're keeping away from each other. And we can't really do anything. We've just been staying home, but that's getting to the point where everyone's tired of it." But then when you hear from your perspective, like, this is what's going on over here, and it's like, we're lucky we're not going through what you're seing every day.
We're so lucky. We're so very lucky.
Because dude, Yates County can take care of that? Absolutely not. We just can't. We don't have the resources for it. I feel like we're in such a weird spot.
It can't spread there. It can't spread there like it spreads here. People are on top. Yeah. In the town, there are more people in some buildings in this city than there are in the town I grew up in.
Yeah.
There are more people in a block here than in Penn Yan. There are more people in this neighborhood than there are in Yates County.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not even in a busy neighborhood.
That's
so insane. It's a different world, and they're packed in, and not only is it that there's a density where we've got people. Think about when you leave your home and you go to work.
Yeah.
You touch your door. Okay. How many other people touch your door?
Just my kid.
Yeah. How many other people go in your place of business on a good day?
Not into the business, because we've restricted that. They only come to the
window.
But
say it's a regular. Say it's pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah. they would only go through the front door, but we would always use the side door. So I see what you mean. Like it's very.
So what my point is that here,
yeah,
when I leave to go, when I leave in the morning, right? Every morning, I touch the door to my hotel room. I'm the only me and maybe the cleaning person, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the house cleaning person.
I touch the button on the elevator.
Oh God, that's no.
I touch the front door of the hotel that everybody else has to go through too.
Mm-hmm.
When I get to the facility I'm at, I have to. It's fortunately an electronic door, but then I've got to, I sanitize my hands, but then I'm going someplace where I know for a fact that there's a big population that has the disease that we're all trying to prevent from spreading. So, what my point is that there's no way here that even if there's nothing airborne at all, when it gets on those surfaces, those surfaces are getting touched by hundreds of people every day, and every door gets passed through hundreds of times every day here. Mm-hmm. So we're fortunate in the Finger Lakes is that there aren't a lot of areas where you have that kind of traffic. I mean, obviously you want to be able to have enough traffic for your business, but you don't have this, and we won't ever have this. And I'm thankful that we don't have this, but this is why it's impossible to stop the spread here.
It's really sad.
That's my take on it. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's a good take on it. It's a good perspective, at least.
Yeah. I think about it a lot because that's my life right now is I try to get some stuff done for home.
Yeah.
And then I go try to help people here. So
how's
kind of tricky. I saw a video of him the other day. He looked really happy. So my sister was throwing a ball for him.
Oh man. I was wondering if he got to hear your voice for a bit.
Yeah. No, it's tough being away from him. But
yeah.
He's a good dog. So here's the other thing, right? Is there are some different kinds of operations going on here. And first off, I've made a lot of Finger Lakes fans out of people from all over the country that have come here because I don't shut up. And
no.
Yeah, no, surprise, right? That I can't stop talking about the Finger Lakes. And so, right. So people send me pictures of the turtle pond or videos, and I'm like, oh, look at the turtle pond. Or I'm like, hey, look at this wine, or look at these people, or look at this is like stuff on the trail. This is right next to my house. This is like 2 miles from my house. They're like, that's near where you live. They have this in America. Like you can go someplace in New York State and this exists. So I got a lot of people. I try not to tell them exactly how to get there. Because once the pandemic is slowed down, then I'll give them directions. I don't want them to go there before then because I want to protect my people at home. But,
thank you.
But eventually, I do want these people to be able to go there and visit, and I'll give them the tour because
that'd be great.
They can tell that I love it, and they get excited about it because I don't shut up about it. But one of the things that we're dealing with is you have populations of people that don't have what we have, and a lot of people that live in shelters and on the streets where it's harder to slow the spread of this because they don't have the ability to do social distancing if they're sharing a room with 2 other people that also are coming from nothing. And there's a lot of that. And when they come in to different places, they might not have a change of clothes. So we I don't know. I think I can give away safely. Like I said, I'm not giving away too much information, but I think I can safely say that some of the people that we work with would really, we give them something to wear while they're there, but they'd really benefit from from having something clean to put on their way out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody felt inclined to send any, this way, then I could try to help get that to those people in whatever different facilities. If the facility that I'm helping at, has plenty, then I can help get them to other places. If anybody's, I know that all the thrift shops and stuff at home are not taking donations right now,
right?
Because they haven't been able to be open. But if anybody, wanted to put together a box of, lightly used or new, t-shirts or pants, especially stuff with like elastic in it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a need for that kind of stuff here. So we can, I don't want trucks upon trucks full of this stuff coming here, because I can't handle that.
No.
But if a couple boxes came, I could handle that. And I think it could help some people. So.
Okay. So you're looking for some clothes?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, like I said, if somebody felt so inclined,
mm-hmm.
that would be something that could be helpful for these people here, that could be done from home.
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
Just putting that out there. So
doesn't hurt to put it out there, right?
Yep. Just trying to send it out into the world and see what comes back. I know that's been part of the conversation, is trying to get better resources for some of these folks. So
it's been really interesting to see how people have been coming together and helping each other out for many different reasons or whatever it looked like. But it's nice to see where people just do something nice for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of random acts of kindness, and it's a nice pause for people to just be like, hey, wait a minute, I know that we're going through a really shitty time, but somebody else is going through a much harder time than you and I are. So
yep.
No, it's nice to hear about the good stuff.
And then on the other hand, like a lot of people think that I'm brave for doing what I'm doing, and that's not at all. First off, that's not why I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it because I think that this is a place where I can help. But what I've got, I feel lucky every day because I know everybody is isolating, and I know everybody is kind of trying to do the right thing right now to try to help, make sure that this isn't spreading through nursing homes and just wiping out these populations that are vulnerable. But I get to wake up every morning and have some place to go that's meaningful.
Yeah.
And I get to spend my day for 13 hours a day with other people that are passionate about helping people and that have all sorts of interesting stories from their various backgrounds, from, whether they're from Florida or we have people from Chicago. I met somebody from Philadelphia the other day. We got people from California. We got people from everywhere that have come just to help with this response. So they all had really good intentions with this, it feels like. And
you needed to go.
I had to go.
You were just wasting away here, and you were just getting very you're getting irritated. And I feel like you're actually being better utilized in this city where you can do some good. You were wasting your time here.
I was, and I've got a place to go, and I've got, like I said, I've got things that I can do that are helpful.
It kind of happened relatively quickly, though.
I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see, but the bags under my eyes are getting bags under them.
I have seen more of your face than I've ever seen my whole life. So
I sincerely apologize to everyone for my appearance.
You should apologize to all of us.
This was not my intention.
It's not coming from you right now. It comes from your face.
No,
you're like,
you should, yes, everybody ignore everything from here down.
I do miss your beard.
I miss it. The only reason, just in case anybody's wondering about my startling appearance, I have to be able to get a seal with an N95 mask.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is you got to shave your beard. So I had to shave my beard, my beloved beard.
That was you. You have to
it
update
was,
the icon now.
no, I'm gonna save it because it's coming back. It's part of my persona, I guess. I don't know.
For my icon,
But
you need to put like white.
have you? So Marion, have you been wearing a mask much?
I have been wearing my mask that my friend Amanda, her mom, made for me.
So when you wear it,
yeah, of course I don't have one.
How uncomfortable is that?
It's super. Well, it's when especially if I wear it a lot, I can't breathe, or I get really hot.
Yeah, I get that too.
That's my concern.
So I have to wear it for like 13 plus hours a day.
Yeah, you have to do better than me.
And so the thing that bothers me the most is like around here, around my nose and stuff.
Nostrils.
Not only like from it pushing on my nose, but
right here.
like I kind of but like here, like all the humidity from my breath all day long. It's like you get that like it's just so uncomfortable to have that moisture on your face.
Too much moisture.
Just all day long. I just need like I don't know. I need Vaseline or something to keep it.
Do we need to send you Vaseline?
No. I think that they have that here. It's hard to get a lot of things that you can't get. You can't get like sweatpants, but you can get. I think you can get Vaseline. I don't know. I'll find something, but I just it's just kind of irritating to have that moisture on your face for 13 hours all day long.
That's got to be rough.
Totally it's got to be a lot harder for the people who. Like I can take mine off to eat and have some coffee and sometimes I loosen it up a little bit if I'm not down where the actual patients who are positive are, because at that point I'm just trying to keep my breath from getting on other people instead of trying to filter the air that's coming in. So I'll loosen it up and let some of the air through. But for the people who are really kind of in the trenches in ICUs and places like that, it's got to be much harder.
Oh God, yeah.
I know that I don't personally do anything where I have to wear a face shield at the moment. But the reports are that that's highly uncomfortable and that it just like it's so hot.
Yeah.
So hopefully as we go on into the summer that this lightens up, because
someone brought
it's going to be really uncomfortable.
Well, someone brought up to me yesterday or today, they're like, I really need a vacation. And I just looked at it and I was like, I don't even know if that's a feasible thing. Vacation.
You mean to leave, like to go on a trip?
I think someone just wants a break. And I'm like, what does that break look like? What could it be? What could it possibly be?
Yeah, what kind of break?
I don't know.
Like a lot of people. Well, is this a person that's not currently on a mandatory break?
No, this is someone I work with.
Okay, so they are working. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, like we're all working, but I'm like, I was thinking like, wouldn't it be great just to be able to rent a house on the lake and just enjoy what we see every day and not have to go to work for a couple days and be like, that's it. That's my vacation.
Yeah, that's understandable.
You can't go anywhere else, right?
No. To be honest, I would love nothing more than to take 3 days and just get a lake house cottage. And
we did talk about that, didn't we? And then you went to go to New York City. I'm like, well, that's not going to work now, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's not going to work, but it would sure be nice it'd be a nice getaway from this, a break from reality. But
you can't come home at all. You have to stay there.
I can't come home.
You can't stay.
I mean, I could come home, but then I'd be stuck in my. It wouldn't be worth it. I couldn't do anything when I'm done here. My two options when I get done here are I either get tested and wait for the test to come back, and hopefully I could get the quick test so that I don't have to wait for it to be processed in a lab.
Okay.
Or the other option is that I just I confine myself for 2 weeks.
Ugh. Oh God.
So despite the fact that this might go on a little bit longer than originally planned, the plan is probably that when I come home and I want to be able to go see my friends and go to the places that I've missed, especially if the region is open at that point, that I'm not going to be participating in that for a couple weeks.
I think that's what made me sad was that when you said the idea of possibly having you not being here for the summer, like you love the summer out here, and that's that's a big sacrifice on your end.
Yeah, I do miss the summer. This is my favorite time of year. There are a lot of things that...
Dude, it snowed here.
Yeah. Isn't that nonsense?
This is like the worst year.
Everybody was complaining today that it was cold. And I'm like, who are you? Well, we're from Florida. I'm like, well, it's 60 degrees and it's sunshine. It's a beautiful day.
It's a pretty day.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, Portia and I were watching TV and I looked out on the window. I'm like, it's snowing. Of course it is. It's snowing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it didn't accumulate. That was good. But one of the girls I work with, she's like, on May 20th, it's supposed to be in the 80s. I'm like, oh, are you going to call in?
Yeah.
I wish I could do that, but it's not a possibility.
You know, if this hadn't all happened, we would just be like, it would be playoff season right now. I'd be going crazy trying to keep up with playoffs, and then, you know, graduation be coming up in another week or two, and we'd be doing that. And
so sad.
And I'd have probably 2 or 3 events for the Outlet Trail plan in the next 2 weeks, just because that's what we do. And this time of year, and it's going to be, I don't know what that looks like going forward. I know that I haven't planned anything.
I could tell you Thanksgiving 2020, I think a lot of us will be thankful for many, many things.
I hope that by then we can be.
I hope something will be different by then. So Jesse moved, huh?
It sounds like he's in the process.
Yeah.
So anybody who's missing Jesse, and I know a lot of the ladies have crushes on him. Don't worry.
So many crushes.
Even after the comments that he made on the last podcast, it seems like they're pulling it together. So it sounds like it's still working out. But you know, it's a matter of time. Anyway, it sounds like they are. I don't know. I can't give away. They're moving to an undisclosed location. That's why he wasn't available to join us tonight. And
did he put in the text? Just kidding. I didn't respond to it.
No, we're not going to tell people where to find him. Just like I'm at this undisclosed location in downtown Brooklyn, or in some place
in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So can you do me a favor if you have any free time, or I don't know if this is feasible for you, but the last time I was in New York City, we walked on the Brooklyn Bridge, and that was awesome. Is that something you can do or want to do?
I walked to Manhattan from here.
Okay.
But I walked across the Manhattan Bridge.
Oh.
But I think next time I'll try the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh, I love the Brooklyn.
If I get it, like next time I get a day, I might try that. And you know, I was able to see the Statue of Liberty for the first time.
Did you?
Like off in the distance when I was walking on the Manhattan Bridge, I could see it.
Yeah. That's gotta be so cool. That's gotta be so good. It's gotta be so weird. Like it's so cool to see everything, and yet everything is just so stopped at the same time.
Yeah. But I don't like it. I don't like the busyness anyway. You know?
No, you don't. I remember when we were there last time in New York City, the first thing I could smell was marijuana. I was like,
oh yeah, you still I could still smell
pot
that
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah. When I was down by Times Square, I was walking across the crosswalk. And I got halfway across, and I could smell it real strong. And I was like, I had an epiphany, right?
Did you?
So not a drug user. So I get halfway across, and I smell it, and I realized, oh my God, this is how people find drug dealers. They smell them. Like it's so obvious.
Oh, you're funny.
And I never thought of it before. Oh yeah, how do people find a drug dealer? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You look a certain way. I'm not too sure.
Right. What they roll up their left pant leg is what I heard.
You know how there's like a Batman signal? It's probably like a drug deal signal.
No, you just smell them.
Oh,
you just go. This is my theory: is that you just smell them, and you're like, oh, that guy smells like he's gonna sell me weed because he smells like he's got enough of it to go around.
Well, people are really stressed out and they need something to relax, help them relax. You never got beer that day, did you, when you're looking for beer?
I didn't ever get beer. But since then, I did find a
liquor store.
I found a liquor store.
Many.
And then when I was in having not many,
Yeah,
but there was one liquor store I found that was open down in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
And I talked to the young lady while I was cashing out.
With your mask on.
And with my mask on, I had my mask on. And I was able to purchase this nice bottle of Lafroig.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Gaelic, I think.
Okay.
How would you pronounce that?
Don't even make me do that. Cardias?
Cardi's. Yeah, whatever.
Cardi's?
I don't know.
Bacardi.
Anyway, I think it means friendship.
Oh, friendship in a bottle.
Yeah. And anyway, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the young lady was able to direct me to the beer store right next door that I didn't see yet.
Oh.
So I got a 6-pack there. It was nice.
Oh.
Oh, well, I don't even know.
Okay, it's missing.
Yeah. But I did, and then I went to Wegmans and I got some Hofbrau, and that was pretty good. So
nice.
It reminded me of my trip to Germany.
I never got to go to Germany.
Yet.
No, yet. One day.
Someday they'll let us travel again.
How was your Mother's Day? Did you tell your mom? Give her a shout out.
Mother's Day. I had a 13-hour day with a lot of moms.
Oh.
Yep. So a lot of them were really missing their kids.
I bet.
They can't see them right now.
No.
It's kind of tough, but I talked to my mom. I sent her a stock, which she was fired up about. She likes stocks.
Mm-hmm. Did she send you any essential oils?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if she figures out which essential oil cures COVID-19. I'm sure that I'll be getting a care package.
I'm sure the ladies are trying to figure this out.
You know that the ladies are trying to figure out which essential oil to use. I'm sure it's like peppermint because it clears up your lungs.
Peppermint's good.
I always hear about thieves and like frankincense.
I
don't know what that stuff is, but I'm assuming that it's probably good for COVID-19 because
to prevent it.
Yeah, or cure it. I think it's the cure. Either that or just hot drinks apparently because temperature kills the virus. That's not real though. Somebody was trying to explain to me the other day that you got to give them hot drinks instead of cold drinks because the hot drinks kill the virus because the virus can't survive. But Dude, once it's in you, it doesn't work.
It's all mental. I mean, if you tell someone that they really believe it, if they could cure it, go for it, I guess, right? Positive
what?
Way of thinking.
Drinking a hot tea is not gonna hurt you.
No.
You might as well give it a try.
I can go for some hot tea right now.
I know. I like this Scottish tea. I've got a friend named Andrew who's he's a true Scotsman. He owns the Scottish Gourmet. Anybody who's interested in getting some Scottish foods like the shortbread, the little shortbread, or even haggis and things like that. I know haggis is Irish, but that is the best way to get it is Scottish Gourmet USA. And anyway, the guy would always, whenever we go to festivals, he'd say tea time is 3:00. Yeah. And I'd come over and he'd say, all right, time for some tea. And it would come from a paper bag and smell like this.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that guy. And his wife, Anne, they're fantastic human beings. I haven't seen them in probably 5 or 10 years, but they're fantastic human beings. And if you get a chance to get some of their stuff, they bring in some really great stuff that they import from Scotland. So
where are they stationed?
Boy, I don't know where their home base is. I always saw them all over the country on the road. So,
yeah.
But I do know that you can go to their website, which I believe might be scottishgourmetusa.com, and you can order some of their products to get shipped to your house. So anybody trying to check out some new stuff.
Not a bad plug.
And as a matter of fact, while you're at it,
yeah.
You should try, what is it? WelshCookieMan.com. And because everybody who knows me knows about Welsh cakes and how fantastic they are. And they've got some really good deals right now.
I got to tell our listeners the one
that
time
might cure COVID.
It probably could. The one time we went out on a wine tour and we went to, we went on a wine tour, pretty awesome people. Mark was one of them. And at the end of the tour, we went to Red Dove in Geneva. And if no one's been there before, you should. And people who have been there before, you know what we're talking about. But for some reason, this guy here, my comadre, wanted to tip our waiter with Welsh cookies.
Waitress.
Sure. It was a female.
It was a lady.
It was a lady. And instead of giving her money, he wanted to give her cookies.
I wanted to give her both.
Phil's cookies.
All I know is that, first off, I also left money. Second off, cookies. When else in her life was she going to get a chance to have those? Everybody likes them.
They're tasty. They were very tasty on the tour.
There really isn't a better tip that you can get.
That's what she said.
Be good. I got asked. So yesterday, we had. Okay, backstory.
Oh.
I am a Keuka College alum.
Yes.
And I am proud of that. And I'm also an employee there. And when I was a student, one of the traditions I liked was during finals week, we always had a late night breakfast.
Right.
And that is a tradition that, I loved because, you got to see your professors and coaches and college employees in kind of a different setting. Mm-hmm. And so when I came back to work there, I always volunteer to come help serve at
doing that
late night breakfast. It's one of my things.
Yeah.
So, and it's amazing the students that don't realize that I'm going to be there, which for some reason they forget every year that I exist and that might be a thing. And they come around the corner and they see me and they're like, Phil, oh my God, like that's so cool that you're here. And they're always excited that I'm there. The first couple of years, the president would be serving with me, and every single student that would go by, they'd be like, "Oh, hey Phil, how's it going?" And I'd have I would know them, and I'd have a conversation with them, and he'd say, "How do you know everybody?" I'd say, "Well, because they're my patients. Like I'm their athletic trainer. They know me because I'm involved." And so last night, no, that wasn't a dig at him.
Okay.
It's just that's why I knew them. So last night, for the first time, we didn't get to have that in person. Yeah. But fortunately, a group took it upon themselves to organize a way to do it virtually. So we had a Zoom meeting. And we had some of the staff and faculty and some students, and they brought on a DJ and an MC who was also a musician.
Cool.
They had a magician briefly.
Okay.
They had, I know, right? My boss.
Jeff.
Oh my God. So. You see on Zoom, they've got all the little squares lined up. Mm-hmm. So I look and I see Jeff's there. I'm like, yeah, great. Because we're always there together. Like we always do that. That's one of the things we always do together is we do that dinner together.
Yeah.
And I look and it's like they're filming him walking around his house. Like this is kind of strange. It's not just him sitting at a desk like I am.
Right.
And he's walking around the house. That's kind of weird. And then they're showing the front door. So next thing I know, they're doing this card trick. They're trying to show this card trick. And hey, Sarah. And I'm looking down at the squares and I can see my boss has gone outside and he's got this there, like a fire truck pulls up into the driveway with the lights on, and there's a like the campus safety car pulls up into the driveway with the lights on, and he's like, "What's going on here? What is all this about? What are you guys doing?" They're just like, it's like craziness going on in his driveway, and meanwhile they're trying to do like a card trick or something and show everybody how it works. And it's something else. Anyway, the mascot gets out of the campus safety vehicle and comes into his house, and they make breakfast together. And you just see this kind of in one of the squares down in the corner. Nobody's watching. I'm like, oh my God, everybody look at Jeff real quick.
Okay, so it was all planned with the fire trucks, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No, it was completely planned, but it was kind of a fun. It was fun. It was cool. Yeah, I liked it. So.
Oh, that's so cool. Did we have to take pictures and send them to you, Cuba Lake, in the college? Will that make you feel better?
That would make me feel better. If anybody has pictures of my dog, my sister sent me some videos of him running around in the backyard with his brother, and
yeah,
I like that. But I get really, I've had a lot of people send me videos or pictures from the outlet trail, and I like that because usually I'm the one taking those pictures and videos. And
yes, I saw someone walk the whole thing the other day, right?
Yeah, Kristen did.
Oh,
yeah.
She did? She did by herself?
I don't recall. It was Mother's Day. I know she did it on Mother's Day.
Do you remember when we did that? And I that wasn't good at the end.
It almost worked. But she walked it one way. She walked from Penny into Dresden. She left a car there.
Oh.
Yeah.
She didn't walk the whole.
She did it the smart way. She walked the whole thing, but she did it one way.
And she walked down to Dresden.
Yes, and we walked much further than she did.
If anyone's ambitious enough to do so, I suggest working your way up towards that. Do not pull a Marianne and think you can just walk the whole thing in one day, which I did, but I couldn't. I think I whined. I don't know when I started.
Oh, you were a trooper. You did fine. You only like halfway and you started to morph into your daughter.
I didn't say uppies.
You didn't say uppies. No, you didn't say uppies. Portia always likes to say uppies to get you to carry her. But she doesn't have to walk anymore.
No.
Marianne just started to say, I don't know if we really thought this through.
Like
I thought it would be shorter.
No, there's this pain that was entering my body, and I'm like, I don't know what
this whole area around my hip is completely uncomfortable right now.
And you're like, because you walk like a stripper, and I'm like, what? I've been more. I said
lady of the night.
I'm since then. I've been more. I try not to swing nothing. I just try to keep nothing swinging, just straight on.
You wouldn't believe today. This woman, I think she's a CNA, and really nice woman, Italian. She gets really fired up, like you get her going. She really gets going. Ooh, and she has all this energy for at least the first half of the day.
Yeah,
and she's like, she starts doing lunges down the hall, and she's like, "Is this a squat?" And I'm like, "No, that's not a squat." She's like, "What is it?" I said, "That's a lunge." And she goes, "Oh, can you teach me how to do a squat?"
Oh,
so yeah, so we taught her how to do a squat right there in the hallway.
Did you tell her that when you would go dancing, this is how you dance?
No, I didn't do that.
But what I did,
the way that I was able to teach her to do it, and that she actually finally did it the correct way, is I told her, and this works for most women.
What's that?
Specifically for women, is I told her to pretend she was in a porta potty.
Oh, yeah.
That verbal cue always works. If I say, pretend you're in a porta potty, because you don't want to touch, but you want to get like your butt back far enough.
I get low.
Yeah. but you got to get your butt back far enough.
Oh.
But you don't want to touch.
I don't know why that was so hard for me to understand that too. So, because when I did CrossFit for like a hot second, I had a hard time getting low with the
Squats
squat.
are hard. Squats are hard.
They're very they're so wicked hard. Like when I did Tai Bo back in the day, we were squatting. I thought I was squatting well, and I thought I knew what I was doing. But with CrossFit, no, I was doing it incorrectly. But one of the times they put the exercise ball behind me, so they're like, try to get low to the ball.
That helps. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And then we taught her how to do a push-up with a plus, and nobody else in the room other than the other athletic trainer knew that you could do that a plus existed, that a plus was even a thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so most people don't know. This is actually a really good exercise.
Okay.
And for any of my anatomy nerds,
so many
push up with a plus specifically targets the serratus anterior, which is a big word to say. It's like the muscle on the side that it attaches. So basically what its job is to hold your shoulder blades flat against your back. Okay. And then when you lift your arms up, it helps rotate your shoulder blades. So it really protects your shoulders, and it can add a lot of strength to do it. But a lot of people don't know you can do a push-up with a plus, and it's really hard to teach. It's another one of those that's really hard to teach because basically when you get to the top of the push-up, you push your shoulders forward. And a lot of people want to either like round their back or they want to like shrug, but it's really just you push them straight forward. And if you can get used to just that motion at the end, you can kind of get it. And it's a really good exercise to do.
I will have to YouTube this for something.
Yeah. Check out push up with a plus. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. That's gonna be great.
Do some squats for me.
I will not do that. No.
Actually, Marianne, what I'd really like you to do if you're going to work out,
squats.
If you could just do some clamshells. Remember the clamshells?
I was just thinking about the clamshells.
Yeah, you should do some clamshells.
I want to do some clamshells.
Yeah, you should do clamshells every time you exercise, I think.
I don't think anybody knows what we're talking about.
Sarah knows.
Oh, Sarah would know.
Yeah, I made Sarah do one of my friends who was a patient of mine back all the way back to my first year as an athletic trainer. Who I think is still watching us. I know she mentioned she sent us a comment earlier that she was watching.
Awesome.
And I had her do many a clamshell.
Oh, and what is this supposed to strengthen?
Oh, and hey, here you go.
Okay.
She hates them too.
She's gorgeous.
I know, isn't she?
She's so beautiful.
I remember, we had a lot of history as she was a frequent patient of mine.
Yeah.
And when she was a senior and senior prom came around, and she had, I think she's okay with me saying this, that I taped her ankle for prom. Mm. She called me. She's like, Phil, I need your help. She said, Mr. Air, because I was Mr. Air back then. She said, I need you to help me. I'm afraid that I can't wear high heels for prom. So she needed me to tape her ankle. So I taped it. I met her out in front of her dorm because it's boarding school.
Yeah.
And I taped it. And then she colored it in like purple to match her dress. She says that she's got a picture of it.
Oh my
Sarah,
God.
if you send me the picture fast enough, I think I can.
Wait, why did you have to tape?
I might be able to even put it up on the podcast.
Was there ankles weak?
Is
that why?
She'd broken it actually at one point. She'd had a lot of chronic injuries and she broke it. So she had a.
When you come back, did we ever talk about my ankles?
No.
Okay, when you come back, we should.
I don't think so.
We should
maybe
talk one day. Yeah. Where I feel like if there's pressure put on my ankle, it like will get out of socket. Does it sound right or no?
No.
No. All right.
No,
well,
I don't think it does that, but it might feel that way.
It does feel that way. So I just need you to look at both my ankles when you come back.
Okay. I can send you some exercises.
Oh, you know how I love those exercises.
Or not.
No, you should do that.
You could just get some of those sneakers from the 90s. You remember the sneakers that have just like the toe? You remember?
No.
It looks like a basketball shoe, except for your heel never touches the ground. It's just got like the toe is like 3 inches thick, and then the heel is just in the air. I can't remember what they're called. They basically sold them to basketball players with the promise that it was going to make them jump twice as high because they would just always be using their calves.
Oh, no, let's not do that. Doesn't sound fun at all for me.
I don't think it's fun. It doesn't seem fun to me either. There doesn't seem like anything fun about it.
I would like to have more fun in my life. A lot of fun's been sucked out.
Wait, so you're telling me that you enjoy fun?
I love fun.
Well, I guess some people have to. Some people have to like fun.
Yeah. So what were you saying earlier, that you've been having more rolls in your forehead, that you see more rolls in your forehead?
No, I wasn't complaining. My forehead's just the way it is. It's just like there's less. I got to let my hair grow back so that you can tell. But without my beard, now you can see like this. I don't know where that came from. I think that's a new. It's like I got like jowls or something. I don't know what those are called, but like I've never seen that because it wasn't there before I grew my beard. And then when I had to shave my beard so I could wear a respirator, then I see all these like parts of my face that I haven't seen in a long time. And it's weird.
You also lost a lot of weight too.
Yeah, and I lost the weight and I got like, I don't know, it's weird.
Patches? Is it patchy?
No, and I left my clippers in I don't know, like in my car. Oh. And it's like 4 blocks away, but I was gonna just like touch up my haircut, because it's getting a little. My sideburns are getting longer than the rest of my hair, and it looked kind of.
Isn't that due or something?
It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Well, I mean,
as Obama would say, it's not optimal.
You've met really fun, cool people. You can't hang out with anybody though. You're kind of like.
I have met such. No, the thing is, I'm one of the few people that can hang out with people.
You can hang out with people.
I get to hang out with people every day. Not to rub it in, but every day, I get to sit around a table with between 3 and 5 other people who are educated, who have life stories, who have families, or just a variety of different interesting things going on that it's not what everybody's experience is right now. And that's part of why I feel so lucky, is that every day I get to go hang out with these people that are really good people and interesting.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So, like I said, not to rub it into anybody who's at home isolating or who's stuck with their family who they love dearly, but maybe after a couple months of not seeing anybody else, it seems like maybe, they want to dial it back.
So I read this random article that came up on my email through iHeartRadio, right? Where, Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. She's like, what did she say? Something along the lines of like, I'm just learning to be friends with my husband right now. And
yeah.
I don't know if you read it, but from somebody from my perspective reading that, I'm like, whoa, how real is that? When she pretty much said that I have no idea who this guy is that I'm married to. And leave it to COVID-19 where you have to be forced to be with someone all the time. And you're like, oh God, I wonder what that's like. Because she was saying, when you get caught up in this whole like fantasy of love and what marriage is supposed to look like, and then you're busy every day with your life, and then do you ever like slow down and just look at the person and be like, are we really still on the same page? Because life happens and people change, but do they give themselves time to check in and see what's going on with each other?
Well, it's cool because a celebrity said it, but how many people do you know that are going through that exact thing? I mean, that's the story that I'm hearing from people.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, even that was part of what Natalie was talking about when we had her on, is that her and her husband have always had opposite schedules.
Right.
And now they're together, and it's a different experience.
I hope people that know that they should be able to talk about it, though, and they shouldn't feel ashamed for even bringing it up or embarrassed for talking or just bringing it up to the other person. But this is a heavy time for a lot of
It is.
couples, quite honestly.
And for families in general.
Right.
But the really cool thing about it is that this is really the opportunity of a lifetime,
Right.
to kind of find ways to improve your relationships.
Right.
And you can really focus on your relationships, because you that's all a lot of people have right now. For others, like, you're still able to work, so you've got other things going on too, but for a lot of people, they don't have any other things.
Right.
And even for you, your daughter, who we love dearly, is having a different experience than she's ever had, and a chance to get to know her on a different level than you've had before.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because like I'm always used to like sharing her attention or sharing our time and space, and now it's just like her and I like it. I love it. I miss sharing other opportunities with other people too. But it's nice when I pick her up and there's like a smile on her face. You know what I mean? It's like it's pretty ideal from a parent's perspective. But I know you might like this, Phil, but the idea of jumping in Cuco Lake is something I just would love to do. I got her like a whole new.
It sounds really cold.
Not right now, but like later when it's warmer out, eventually,
later.
with less snow. I got her this new swim vest. It's a good one. It's a really good one too, and I just want to put her in there and plonk her in the water and see her, like, because she's a freaking fish. She loves swimming, jumping right in the water. But I can't wait to hopefully be able to do something like that this year.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Hopefully.
It'll be nice.
That'd be nice. But yeah, I just hope that couples, relationships, that they still keep talking to each other and not be afraid to talk about it. I think that would be wise. And hopefully they do that. I think
as always, I will say that communication is something that can make or break a relationship. And it's something that people need to work at. It's not easy.
No.
But even when you're together 24/7, it's not easy. It might even be harder.
I think so.
Because once the tension builds, you have to find ways to move past it. And it's something that people really should work at.
Yeah, and listening. Being able to listen and not be defensive when somebody brings something up. So I'm reading this book that was given to me about a year or so ago. It's called Girl, Wash Your Face. And it's good. It's good. I don't have it with me. It's upstairs in my room. But one of the topics, it talks about lies. Each lie that you tell yourself and you actually believe it. And then you go back to it and be like, yeah, this isn't really a horrible thing. But one of the lies that sticks out is I'm bad at sex, right? That's the lie. This is in the book, not okay. So one of the things is that the author felt that she looked at sex as like a chore. And so, right. Because after a relationship, everything becomes like a chore, and it's
Yeah.
just
There you go. I got to do this.
the
I didn't
spark
get this
runs
done
out.
yet today.
So what the author turns to her husband and says, or asks, why don't we have sex? And her husband's like, because I could tell you don't want to do it with me. So I'd rather not do it with you rather than do it with you when you don't want it. And so she would try not to be defensive. And so she tried to just have a more understanding about it. And I think it's that changing the perspective of looking at something like that and being like, okay, this is an issue. How do we move forward on it? And that's what I liked reading about this book, is that at each lie she combats. And I think a lot of women, there's other lies that are part of this. One of them's not being a good mom. One of them's like saying no is not the final answer. It's just a lot of really good topics to tackle. And I think if anyone has extra time on their hands, you should definitely give it a read. She's a pretty good author, and she's mildly funny. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I like
enjoyed
that.
reading
I
it.
like that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of how communication can really change your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's perfect.
I enjoy it. So I'll keep you updated with the other things I read about. But this is my
Absolutely.
I can't remember the last time I read a book, let's be honest. So
I'm reading a great book right now.
What
I'm
are you
gonna
reading?
actually give me one moment. I'm gonna grab it. You just sit tight.
I'm good. I'm going to entertain everyone. Try to. I have really nothing else to talk about. Oh, no, you came back quickly. Great. Thank you.
I'm fast. Trust me.
That's what she
I
said.
don't have far to go. I'm in a hotel room. I'm confined to a hotel room. There's no place. So I've got this book, and I decided that I was going to bring it with me when I came here.
Awesome.
I brought 4 books, and this is one that I said I really want to get through this book. Not just to power through it, but it's a book that I've been working on for a long time. And as I've read it, it's actually had an immediate impact on my life and the lives of people around me. And there was a woman who I met at Kuka College about 15 years ago named Irshad Manji.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a really interesting woman. She's traveled around talking about a lot about Islam and what's wrong with Islam and things that can be changed about it. I know it seems like I'm getting off topic, but I'm going to bring it back around. So she is a outspoken woman who's a Muslim.
Awesome.
Who's married to another woman.
Awesome.
Who grew up thinking that dogs were not things that were clean.
Oh,
and who got a dog. And the book was written in kind of what I consider kind of silly way, but as a tool to bring out different ideas, and basically as a conversation with her adopted dog. And it's called Don't Label Me.
Ooh, I like this.
And as I've been reading it, people have asked me questions about it because they see me reading a book. They're like, oh, what's the deal with that book?
Right.
And I say, well, really what it's about is, for me so far anyway, is that it's okay to acknowledge groups that you might be part of or identify with, or that other people might identify with, and how that might affect who they are. But it's really more important to look at people as individuals, and who you are, Marianne, as an individual is far more important to what our relationship is and ever will be than any group that you're part of. So I'm not going to label you. It doesn't matter, kind of what groups you might be included in, because I'm not going to judge you based on that as much as I'm going to judge you based on who you are. And that's really important. As back to the Black Twitter, bringing it back to that, right?
Oh, it's great.
So a young lady that I am working with here, was telling me a story that she found there that Black people in China right now are being oppressed on a drastic level. And what's going on there is apparently that people are being evicted from their homes. People are being fired from their jobs. And there are all sorts of oppression going on against Black people in China. And I don't know, from her point of view, it sounded like she thought that they were somehow using this virus as an excuse to do that. I always like to look at the bigger picture and say, well, was it happening before? And we don't know. I mean, maybe it isn't the virus. Maybe they were already doing it and we're just like picking it up now, like it's coming into your news feed now. Regardless, though, she said, well, I guess next time I get my nails done, I'm going to have to find somebody Black to do my nails instead of going to the lady that I usually go to because she's Asian.
Oh.
Meanwhile, earlier in the day and throughout and this is okay, right? This is because we got to a good place, right? So earlier in the day, she's the one telling me about, these Black kids getting beat up and all the different ways that she feels like bad things are happening to her community and why those are important. And so we come back around and I said, but hold on a second. If you are going to avoid the woman that you like, who you normally go to get this service done, how is that different?
Right.
How is that different that you are treating her differently because of a group that she's part of when you're asking people not to treat you differently and not to treat other people like you differently because of a group you're part of? Well, how is that different?
How did that go?
Well, immediately there was some pushback.
Right.
And it was kind of, well, but they're, because she's part of that group.
Right.
And she needs to get her people to stop treating our people poorly.
Right.
It's like, but hold on a second.
Right.
Has she done anything wrong?
Right.
Does she have any control over what those other people are doing? It's like, if a lot of people look at me and they say, well, you can't understand oppression because you're a white male. Sorry, a cis straight white male. You can't have an opinion on certain things because you're a cis straight white male. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Like, I'm still a thinking person.
Right.
And you're still a thinking person. So what happened with it came back around the next day. She came and she talked to me and she said, Phil, like, thanks for saying that, because I thought about it and you're right. She said, that's right. No different. Like, I'm going to go back to her. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. And that's really the way that we need to treat people. And that's the way that we get past all of these problems, is that you have to treat people like the person that they are instead of as a part of a group.
I am so proud that you had this conversation with someone, because just imagine that you did not have this conversation with this woman and what she would have done, and knowing.
I think she would have done the right thing.
Regardless, but at least that conversation happened and you built this relationship between you and this other woman. That opens up a lot of things, though, Phil.
Yeah, I think she would have done the right thing, but I hope that conversation
opened up doors.
So the conversation that I had with Irshad Manji 15 years ago was she explained all these things. I invited one of my professors who I respected a lot to go listen to her speak with me at the college that day.
Yeah.
And he said, why would I go listen to a radical Muslim feminist?
You're labeling her. That's great.
She labeled herself as that.
But
at the time, she said she advertised herself as a radical Muslim feminist.
Great marketing.
Because it is radical to be a feminist Muslim.
Right.
Or, and in a good way. And that's what I saw is, oh my God, this woman is stepping up and having this moral courage to fight against these, preconceived notions and to say we're individuals and we can do these things. And he wasn't interested, and I still respect him, and we've come along different paths.
Right.
And when I sat there and everybody went around and introduced themselves, and I said, I'm Phil RAHR, and just a student here. She said, no, that's that. You're the most important person here. You're a student. You're here to learn. You're here to grow yourself. And I was a biology student, and I was listening to what was kind of politics. She really teaches leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I do recommend to read this book. It's a good book. And even though you have to get past the fact that she's talking to a dog, but really the topics that she brings up are really, really interesting. And like I said, I think that the young lady that I had that conversation with, I think she would have done the right thing because she is a thinking person and she has time to take a deep breath and say, hold on, I need to move past that prejudice. But it wasn't a prejudice. It was just oh my God, this group of people is doing something and I have to react to it. And everybody feels the need to react in certain ways. And I don't like to be judged and told that I can't have an opinion because I'm cis, straight, white, and or male.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can think about things too. I can think about different struggles that different people have. I might not have the experience and I might not be able to completely understand it, but I can certainly try and I certainly care.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, reading that book, it was very timely when I come here, especially, listening to the different stories, both racial and as well as, I've had people say to me, that book actually speaks to me because somebody said that somebody was crazy and then they didn't treat them the right way because of it.
Right.
It's just because somebody has some struggle going on in their life,
mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that you should treat them any other way. How you treat people always speaks about you and never speaks about them. And how you're treated by other people always speaks about them and never speaks about you.
Very good point. Very good point. You should make sure to put that book on the feed below or whatever you usually do to.
I certainly will.
That one of the things that, going back to the girl, wash your face, that was one of the things she did point out is that when you, one of the things that women have a hard time is having relationships with other women. And know what, that's one thing. But the one thing I liked about what she brought up was that people being friends that have different ideas or are going to have just different points of view on a lot of other things. And you don't want to be the same. You don't want to be friends with the same person just like you, because how boring is that? But not only that, you don't grow. There's no growing involved in there too. But that's why I really do like you, Phil, because when I first met you, I didn't like you. But beyond that, there's been times where you and I had discussions and it leads to me where I would cry. But when I go back and think about it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right when you brought up that conversation. As hard as that topic was or that sentence you had to say to me, I'm glad you said it because you're a good friend. And I think a lot of people really should open up their boundaries and let more people like that in, because then I think we can really move forward in life and learn from each other rather than just doing the same thing over and over and over again, because that secludes us. That doesn't make us a world, and that's the beauty with kids. Kids don't have those preconceived ideas.
No filter.
I'm looking at a picture of my daughter right now. I have all these little pictures. She's so smiling. She's so happy. And I'm like, she hasn't been damaged.
Yeah.
She hasn't had these ideas been put in her head. She hasn't been put
she's not jaded.
She's not jaded.
Yep.
A lot of us are, and that's what the beauty is when having kids, especially now. They remind us like there's something to look forward to. But
absolutely,
going back to what I was trying to say, open up your boundaries and meet new people and explore them, and try not to judge or just let what other people are saying to you sink in for a little bit, and then reinvestigate it. That's wise. That's good. Look at that.
That's the other thing that came from this book for me is it's always very interesting because she likes to take a side. She likes to take kind of a third side.
Yeah.
So she acknowledges that she's not a pro-Trump person. That's okay.
Yeah.
And she acknowledges that at the same time that people can be pro-Trump and they can be smart and they can have good intentions, and despite not agreeing with her on that. And she talks about the alt-right, and she talks about even she talks about the KKK. And she says, you know, even people who are, I'm sorry, maybe I should dial that back. I don't remember her specifically talking about the KKK, but she did talk about someone who was from Mississippi. Sorry for jumping to the KKK from that. But she talks about somebody who, you'll see why in a second, is that the state flag, when this was written, I believe probably still, had some Confederate past involved with it.
Okay.
Of the state flag of Mississippi. And she had a friend who lived there that loved it there for a lot of reasons, because a lot of people in the South are very friendly and they espouse a lot of really good values. And one of her friends, who espoused a lot of those good values and preached those good values, was maybe in the KKK.
There's some association with the KKK.
Anyway, was
donations.
He really liked the flag. He thought he was very proud of the flag. He was very proud of the flag. And the friend was very offended by it because she thought that it related to oppression to her.
Right.
And to her people. And he explained to her that why he felt the way he felt about it, that he didn't think that for him it meant anything racist. And for him, he thought that it was something that meant something to his history and to his heritage. And it didn't mean anything racist at all.
Right.
And for her, she explained to him that she felt like it was in opposition to her values, and that it did feel like it was an attack on her and people like her. Anyway, long story short is that they had that conversation and they respected each other, and it even developed more of a respect to where he acknowledged that his relationship with her and his respect for her was more important to him than the flag. And that he kind of came around and said, you know, if that means that to you, it doesn't mean that to me. It's never going to mean that to me. I still think that it's something that means heritage to me.
Right.
But if it means that to you, then maybe it's not that important, because my relationship with you is more important.
I think you're talking about a conversation that I don't think happens a lot anymore.
It doesn't.
I think person A says something, person B gets offended, then person B gets mad and starts yelling, person A gets mad, and then they put it on Facebook, and then they block them and do all other fun stuff. Like I wish conversations like that happened more.
But you have to be okay for those conversations to happen. You have to be okay with giving offense.
Right.
You can't be afraid to say something that might be offensive, but you have to start out from a position of mutual respect, where you say, look, some of the things that I'm going to say might be things that would be offensive to you, but what you need to do is say, why do you think that way? Right. Instead of taking offense right away and shutting down the conversation, say, why do you feel that way? And if you never get to a point where you can accept it, just say, look, I can't accept that.
my question for you is, when did we start having a hard time being able to talk to one another?
Texting. It's all about texting killed everything.
Texting.
I don't know if people. I think
don't like
people
texting.
are always afraid to talk to each other, but I think
I like to talk to people all the time. I'm a talker. I would rather just talk on the phone.
But about tough topics, people have a hard time talking about things that mean something to them.
I would not do it in
with
text,
somebody that they
though.
disagree with.
I wouldn't do it in text.
But texting makes it so you don't have to always be with the people that you're with, if you know what I'm saying.
I just feel like it's a better just thing to talk about in person, as hard as that is, but having the eye contact and just
it helps. And
it does.
That's another thing mentioned in this book, is that it's really easy to be that person on the internet and say, hold on, you're offensive, I'm going to block you, or I'm going to attack you. But when you're face to face with somebody and you're looking them in the eye, it makes it a lot easier to kind of bring it down and say, look, what do you mean by that? And
respect.
Should I be offended by that?
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a different reason why you think that, and that kind of thing, that makes a difference. You're right. You have to have that conversation face to face.
Yeah, I think it's so much.
A lot gets lost in translation.
It does, because then what is the things you see on Facebook or social media is that you have a guy and a girl laying in bed, and the girl's like having like 10,000 like ideas, and the guy is just wondering if his team made the playoffs or not. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. It's like one person's overly thinking, and the other person's like, that is not what I was thinking at all. Where are you getting that from? But that all could have been avoided. All that anger, all that anxiety could have been avoided if you just had the conversation.
Check this out, though. Sarah, remember Sarah that we talked to?
Sure.
Okay. So I don't have it on the computer. She sent it to me via text. So I'm just going to hold the phone up to the camera and hope you can see it.
I hope so.
Here's the famous ankle picture.
Oh, stop.
You see,
I see it.
We got a walking boot and an ankle tape for prom.
Oh, girl. She's still working.
And then I think so.
She worked out.
So. And then she sent me this. She told me that this is her favorite picture of my dog Hawkeye that I sent to her, and she said that what she said. She said I sent it to her when she was really struggling, and it helped her. So, and it definitely brings my mood up a little bit.
That's when he was a puppy.
That's my doggy. Yeah, that's when he was a little puppy.
That's so awesome.
That's a good one. It's the good old days,
I'm telling you, pets, kids, The Office, it all makes things a lot better, doesn't it? I just finally saw the final episode of The Office the other day. I didn't know that Dwight got married.
Was that the one that had Jim Carrey in it? He's from the Finger Lakes. I'm from the Finger Lakes. I really need to get back to the Finger Lakes. My family's in the Finger Lakes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember that? Okay, anybody send us which episode. If anybody's watching, please. We've got at least a couple people watching.
Is Kyle one of them?
For anybody watching, please send us, if you know, which episode has Jim Carrey where he's from the Finger Lakes. He's trying to replace Michael. He's interviewing to replace Michael, and he says, actually, I'm from the Finger Lakes. I need to get home. My family's in the Finger Lakes. I should be in the Finger Lakes. Because this is literally what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks here in New York City. I'm from the Finger Lakes. I should really be in the Finger Lakes right now.
So when you come back to the Finger Lakes, we need to go to Old Pueblo. It's a Mexican restaurant in Rochester. So Kevin and I went up there a couple weekends ago. And I don't remember what it's called, but it's the corn on a stick.
I don't eat corn.
I will eat it in front of you.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it deep fried?
No, It's like the best. I'll send you a picture of it because I know I took a picture of it.
Okay.
It's the best Mexican food I've had here in quite some time.
Do you remember the time that we went to the place in Geneva? That was pretty good.
That was actually a good place too. That was a good place. Yeah, where I made you go shopping with me.
We talked about that on the podcast.
It was.
Everybody here knows about it.
The corn on the stick, though, at Old Pueblo is fantastic. I miss.
Is it very buttery?
They have this like I keep touching my face. I'm sorry. This like
you can't do that. You can't do that during a pandemic.
But I'm in my house. I'm okay for doing that.
Well, it depends. Have you sanitized your house?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, every hour I wipe down everything with very harsh chemicals.
Well, you're also in New York City.
I am. Yeah. I am. I've got next. I'm not gonna turn the camera to show how I keep a hotel room clean because I don't. But
yeah, but the people that go in your house or your hotel room.
Yeah. So next to the door, I keep one of the cans of Clorox wipes, and one of the. Oh yeah, no, I brought them from home. I had them pre-pandemic, so I got a can of those, and a bottle of the hand sanitizer that I got from Jesse, and that's like my routine before I leave the tile, is I take off my shoes, and anything that comes past that threshold comes in after I've wiped it down with the bleach wipes. And then I clean my hands before I do anything else because I just can't. And I usually I just take a shower before I ever even come in the room because I can't take chances.
Well, no, but you're also in the midst of it too.
I am. And like I said, I know for a fact that every day I put myself in a situation where I am in the same location. You know, I touch things every day that have the virus on it.
Yeah.
You know, like I do everything I can to limit that and reduce that. But every single day I'm at a place where that virus is present.
Right.
And you know, you do the best you can. You do the best you can. And I can only hope that I currently have it and I'm asymptomatic and I'm wearing a mask, so I'm not giving it to anybody, and maybe I'll be immune when I come home. That's the best case scenario.
What is it? The one thing I saw that COVID-19 and Chuck Norris, and then COVID-19 has to be isolated for 14 days.
Oh yeah. You see? Did the coronavirus get Chuck Norris? Did you know that did you know that Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups with a plus?
No.
He actually pushes the earth down with a plus.
Chuck Norris. Oh, I saw that meme and I was like, oh, I was
Chuck Norris swims through concrete.
Oh, thank God for Chuck Norris. I don't know when he became such a Chuck Norris. I don't even know.
Well, I mean, when you can roundhouse kick that like that, it's just the sky's the limit.
Let's see this. Are you tired, or you just because you look a lot older?
I'm exhausted. I mean,
you look tired.
But it's just a matter of, you know, I'm trying to get a lot done here.
Right.
And despite the fact that I'm not working in an ICU or anything crazy like that.
Right.
I am putting in
13
you know, right? between the travel, it's closer to 14 hours.
Yeah.
You know, but by the time between the time I leave my hotel room and I return to my hotel room, which is not my home, and where I don't have my dog and my family and my friends, it's 14 hours that I'm out in the world. And I'm like I said, my bags have bags, and
I do remember you saying before you left, you're like, I want to just work every day. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to need like a day off. Like,
the thing is, do I would rather, I'm here in New York City, right?
Mhm.
Anybody that knows me knows that this is not a place that I want to be.
No.
This is the reason why I'm here. The reason why I'm here is not to sit in a hotel room. So right. I stand by that. I stand by that statement that I would rather be there every single day.
Yeah.
Doing everything I can to help than sitting in a hotel room waiting until the next day.
Yeah, but you still need rest.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Like I said, I stand by it. I would work every single day. I would go there every single day and do everything I can. I don't need to sit in a hotel room. The only reason that I need a day off is because and all the nurses make fun of me for this, but
this will be good.
But they're jealous. is I brought a washboard, and so I need to do my laundry on the washboard, and then I hang it up in the tub to dry, and I get the washboard and I got a tub and I got some like wool wash detergent, and you scrub it, you scrub the shirts, and you get all the funk out of them. You just and then you rinse them out and you hang them up, I don't have to go to laundromats or anything like that.
They don't provide the laundromats in the hotel.
No, I can pay for laundry, but it's outrageous. I mean, everything's outrageous here in New York City. I can't afford any of it.
Can you take a picture of you washing your clothes?
I'd rather not. I can't because my hands are wet. I'm using both hands. I can't take a picture.
Like a timer on there? You can just take a picture and a timer.
I don't know. It feels unnatural. I don't think I'm not gonna do that.
Background music going ding 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 ding. I'm not asking a lot. I'm not asking a lot.
I did not bring a banjo with me. I mean, a lot of the nurses think I might have because they know I'm a country bumpkin.
They might love you.
They do. I'm telling you, this fantastic crew, and I've got a great relationship with all of them. I've been given one of the security guards a ride to work each day because he's staying in the same hotel as me. And I was walking out of the hotel and I saw the bellman and I said, "Hey, Angelo, how's your day? Hope you have a good day." And the security guy with me goes, you just know everybody, don't you? Yeah, what? Like I live in this hotel. I'm not staying in this hotel. This is
you're like
for all intents and purposes, this is my home.
Yeah. For
the next however long. So do you know everybody that lives in your home? Right. I walk past this guy every day. You think I'm not going to get to know his name and say hello to him? I mean, I know in this town, a lot of people don't do that, but I care about that. I bring that as a value with me.
I think by living in a small town, I know when we visited the hotel from time to time, I have this urge to like smile and say hi to everyone. And I get kind of a couple of looks like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't you feel the urge to say hi to people when they enter the elevator? Like, no? Is that just me?
But I do. I
feel like you should. You're sharing the same space. Why not?
Like I said, you've got to treat people. The way you treat people says things about you. So as I go through this life, even if I'm in this city where it's not the norm, I will treat people the way I want to be treated. I will, I'll say hello. I'll say good morning. I'll ask people how their day was, and I'll actually care what they say. I'll listen to their answer.
Do you miss Rosemary's kisses?
Of course, yeah. She'd like it now because I don't have the beard. She could get right in there.
To just like pet you.
Yeah. I can't wait until I come grow back this beard, you know. It's
I bet.
like look, when I walk in,
Mm-hmm.
people see me, and like usually they just see this.
Yeah.
Everybody just sees my eyes because your face is always covered.
Yeah.
And then they see my face,
Like,
and they're like, "Oh, I didn't think that's what you would look like. I think because I'm uglier than they expected." But then I show them a picture and of like, I say, "Hey, look, this was 6 months ago. This is what I looked like," and they're like, "Oh, you're fuzzy. Like you look like that." They're like, you look nice. Like, you look nice. Like, okay. But then and then I'm like, yeah, like, see, this is me. This is what I look like. I don't look like this. I look like this.
That's
They're like,
true.
oh yeah, you gotta, it's interesting. Yeah, you look fine
I'm glad
both
you
ways.
said that. Like what you're showcasing now, I don't accept that that's really you. You're just your face is
It's
just
okay
I'm out
because
right now.
my facial hair is not my identity.
I miss your facial hair.
I miss it too.
Yeah.
But that's not who I am. That's something that's on me.
Oh, it's your icon right there, buddy. My hair.
You're right.
I really want to cut it sometimes.
Well, that's the way love goes, as Merle Haggard would say.
I gotta go to work tomorrow.
I know, me too. I got to get up in like 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, buddy.
It's late.
It's late.
Well, thanks for doing this. I know it's been a while, and I hope that everybody was able to catch up a little bit.
I was nervous. I had like nothing to talk about. My life's so boring.
Yeah, no, you do, and I want to do this again soon so that we can get caught up, because what I want to hear about and what I want to talk about is still the same stuff. I still want to talk about what's happening at home, and I want to talk. You know, it sounds like hopefully on Thursday, if people can tune in around 1:30.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like we'll probably have Kristen Birch on to talk about what's going on at St. Michael's School, one of the local private elementary schools. And I'm working on hopefully maybe some other things to talk about. So, but in the meantime, at the very least, I think that we'll be able to get her on so we can kind of get some updates on what's going on at home, because that's really all of this doesn't mean anything unless we can do something for the family back home. So
sounds good.
That's kind of what's important. But
she'll be great. You guys will be awesome on Thursday.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we'll find out what's going on.
That's awesome.
Gonna get the scoop.
I get the scoop. Well, I love the opening jingle to the show. That's amazing. Kyle, great.
Yeah.
Great, that was awesome.
What I've got to do now is I've got to get Kyle to record an outro. You know, we got the intro, now we got to have an outro, right?
Yeah, getting back to work.
And the other thing I've been doing is I've been working on an animation. I don't want to give too much of it away, but I think I'm going to be able to animate the logo during the intro. So it's kind of nonsense. It's too much.
Where the heads
it's really too much. But I've got like the heads kind of like moving around and stuff, and then they kind of all kind of meet in the middle. But it's all nonsense. It's just kind of like,
sounds like fun.
You know, I just like to literally. We have a song now, and I'm pretty proud of it because Kyle made it, and I was gonna try to get a fiddler to just do like a quick, and he was like, "No, I'll write a song for you." So he sent it. Sounded great. Went with it, and I don't know. We'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I guess that is all for tonight. So we've got to get to bed. We've got a big day tomorrow. I hope you've got a big day. I've got a big day. We're gonna actually go do something. I hope that you have a big day, because otherwise you'll be staying at home just like all the other days.
Yeah.
And if you do, whatever you're doing, do a great job of it.
Awesome.
Try to find something new to do tomorrow. And have a great night.
Bye, guys.